Okay, so being productive, it can feel like a chore sometimes, right? Like, do I have to?
And I think a lot of people feel like they're just constantly on this like hamster wheel of busyness.
So more hours, more results. Is that a myth?
Yeah.
Like, what are the myths?
Well, there's a lot of productivity myths out there, and I think one of the big ones is multitasking.
Multitasking.
Yeah. We all like to wear that as a badge of honor. Like, look at me, I can do all the things. But research actually shows that it can decrease your productivity by up to 40%.
Wow, 40%. That's huge.
Yeah. It's like trying to watch 5 TV shows at once. You're not really absorbing anything. You're just, getting this jumbled mess of information.
Yeah, it's like my to-do list is like, not helpful. It's just like a never-ending receipt from a grocery store.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, okay, so multitasking is out.
Yeah.
What's in?
Well, this is where the 80-20 rule comes in, or the Pareto principle. And the idea here is that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your
Yeah.
efforts. And that really shifts the focus from trying to do everything to figuring out what are the things that are actually moving the needle. Like, if you were playing a video game, you wouldn't try to pick up every coin or, battle every little enemy.
So what should we be doing?
Well, I think some of the things you can do, one is time blocking. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, time blocking.
Yeah.
I have. Tell me more.
Basically, you're giving your day a blueprint. You're creating like a personalized map for your energy and focus.
So it's like setting a schedule for your brain almost,
Yeah.
so it knows what to expect and can settle in without feeling overwhelmed.
Right. And then you can have different blocks for different types of work. Like you might have a block for deep work, a block for meetings and calls, and even a block for breaks because recharging is just as important.
So it's all about intentionality.
Yes. And if you need a little extra boost to stay on track, there's, always the Pomodoro technique.
Oh, the Pomodoro technique, yeah. Work in short bursts, take a break, repeat.
Yes, exactly. And it can really help with tasks that require deep concentration
Hmm.
because it's like interval training for your brain.
Okay, I like that. Interval training for your brain.
Yeah.
What if you're just frozen by too many things to do? Like, how do I even pick what to do?
So in that case, the Eisenhower matrix can be a really helpful tool.
Break it down.
Okay, so basically imagine a square that's divided into 4 quadrants, and each quadrant represents a combination of urgency and importance. So you have, urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important.
Got it. So you figure out what needs your attention now, what can wait, and what you can toss out completely.
Precisely. And then another thing people deal with is just feeling like they're juggling all these, spinning plates in the air.
Oh, yeah. Multiple projects, deadlines, fires to put out. It can feel like a circus act sometimes.
It really can. And so I think the key here is to, again, ruthlessly prioritize.
Yeah.
Remember that 80-20 rule? It applies here as well. So it's not about making equal progress on everything. It's about identifying those high impact tasks across all of your projects and focusing your energy there.
So how do you like actually keep it all organized so you don't drop any plates?
Mhm.
I'm a visual person. I need to see all laid out to feel in control.
I love that. And you can. That's where a project map comes in.
Mm.
And it can be as simple or as complex as you need it to be. But basically, it's just a visual overview of all your projects.
And are there like tools that make this easier?
Oh, tons.
Okay.
Yeah, there are tons of project management tools like Trello or Asana that allow you to create these visual maps and track your progress.
Perfect. So it's like having a digital command center for all your projects where you can see everything at a glance, track progress, and collaborate with others.
Mhm.
What about task batching?
Task batching. Yeah, so this is all about grouping similar tasks together and then tackling them in one go. So it's like optimizing your brain power.
So instead of constantly switching gears between like writing emails, making calls, and doing research, you could dedicate specific chunks of time to each type of task. So your brain can really settle in and get into a flow state.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. So are there other time-saving tricks that can help us manage multiple projects effectively?
Well, setting time limits can also be incredibly helpful. It's easy to get sucked into one project and then let others fall behind. So by allocating a specific amount of time to each project, even if it's just an hour, it ensures that you're making progress across the board.
It's like setting boundaries for your time and attention so one plate doesn't spin wildly out of control while the others start to wobble. Okay, so we've tackled the multitasking myths, explored time management techniques, and even learned how to create project maps like pros. But now I'm curious about those hyper-productive people, the ones who seem to effortlessly achieve so much. What's their secret?
They might not have a magic potion, but they do have a few key habits in common that make a big difference.
You mean the inside scoop? How do they do it?
One of the biggest things is planning their day the night before, just taking a few minutes to outline their top priorities.
So they're basically setting themselves up for success before they even hit the snooze button, eliminating that decision fatigue and starting the day with a clear sense of purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then another powerful habit is something called the 2-minute rule.
2-minute rule.
Yeah.
I like rules. Tell me more.
It's super simple. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, just do it immediately. Don't put it on your to-do list. Don't schedule it for later. Just knock it out.
Really? That's
Yeah.
it? Wow. That's so simple. Okay, 2-minute rule. Got it. What else do they do?
They also prioritize something called deep work.
Deep work. Okay.
They block out time in their day, ideally during their peak productivity hours, and eliminate all distractions and dive deep into those high-impact tasks.
So it's like creating a do not disturb zone for your brain where you can really focus and make magic happen.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Planning ahead, tackling quick tasks right away, prioritizing deep work. These are all great habits to cultivate. But let's be real. Even with the best intentions, we all struggle with procrastination sometimes. It's like this invisible force that sabotages our best laid plans. How do we break free from its grip?
You're so right. It's a universal struggle, and the first step is understanding why you procrastinate in the first place.
So it's like doing a little self-diagnosis before prescribing a solution. Figure out what's really going on beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. What are some of your favorite procrastination busting techniques?
Well, one of my go-to strategies is the 5-minute rule. It's similar to the 2-minute rule, but the idea is just to commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes.
Yeah. A lot of times getting started is the hardest part. So once you break through that initial resistance, you'll find yourself continuing to work.
It's like tricking your brain into thinking it's just a quick dip in the pool, but then you end up swimming laps.
Exactly. And then if that doesn't work, you can always try breaking down a large task into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay, so instead of staring at a mountain of work, you're creating a series of smaller hills that feel much more manageable. I like that. What about rewards?
Positive triggers and rewards can be incredibly motivating. Think of it like training your brain to associate productivity with positive feelings. So set up small rewards for yourself for completing tasks.
I love rewards. What kind of rewards are we talking about here?
It could be a short break to enjoy your favorite beverage, a quick walk outside to get some fresh air, listening to an inspiring podcast, or even just a few minutes of browsing social media guilt-free because you earned it.
I'm definitely on board with that reward system. It's like gamifying your productivity and making it feel less like a chore. Okay, so we've talked about understanding why we procrastinate, using the 5-minute rule, breaking tasks down, and even rewarding ourselves for our efforts. But what about those external distractions that constantly try to pull us away from our work?
Yeah.
How do we minimize those and create an environment that supports focus and productivity?
That's so important. And the key here is to create a distraction-free environment.
Hmm.
Our digital world is like a minefield of distractions, so it takes a conscious effort to stay focused.
Okay, so how do we create that distraction-free zone? I feel like my phone is a productivity black hole sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely can be. So one of the best things you can do is turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, tidy up your workspace, and maybe even consider using some distraction blocking apps if you need some extra help.
Distraction blocking apps? Tell me more about those.
Yeah, there are some great ones out there, like Freedom or Stay Focused, that allow you to block specific websites or apps for a set period of time.
Wow, so it's like a digital detox for your brain.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered tons of practical strategies for overcoming procrastination. But what about those days when we just can't seem to muster the motivation no matter how hard we try? Those days when even the thought of tackling our to-do list feels utterly exhausting. What do we do then?
I think we all have those days, and sometimes the best approach is to visualize the consequences of inaction.
Ooh, that sounds a bit scary. Like a productivity horror movie.
It can be a little bit, but it can be really effective.
Mhm.
Just take a few moments to imagine what would happen if you don't complete the task. Will it create more stress later on? Will it damage your reputation? Will it prevent you from achieving your goals?
So it's like giving yourself a little dose of tough love, a reality check to help you see the bigger picture.
I like that. What about accountability? I find that I'm much more likely to stay on track when I have someone to answer to. Are there any strategies for boosting accountability, especially when we're working on solo projects?
Accountability is so key, and one of the most effective strategies is finding a productivity buddy or an accountability partner.
A productivity buddy. I love it. It's like a workout buddy for your goals, someone to cheer you on and keep you motivated.
Exactly. Having someone to check in with, share your goals with, and hold you accountable can make a huge difference.
This is awesome. So many practical strategies for tackling procrastination and staying motivated. Okay, we've covered procrastination busting techniques, mindfulness apps, and all sorts of amazing tools for managing tasks and organizing our thoughts. I'm feeling energized and ready for more.
I'm so glad. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part, but we're just getting started.
Yes, I can't wait to dive even deeper and explore even more strategies and tools in the next part of our journey. Welcome back. Are you ready for more productivity secrets?
Absolutely. Last time we talked about busting those productivity myths and those super effective habits, and I am ready for the tools, the tech, the nitty-gritty stuff that's going to streamline my work.
Yeah, let's talk time management apps.
Okay, time management apps, I have tried a few, but some of them are so complicated. It's like, where do I even start?
I totally get it. There are a ton out there, and it can be really overwhelming. So, my advice is to start simple and think about your specific needs. Like, what are your biggest pain points when it comes to time management?
I think for me, the biggest struggle is honestly staying focused and not getting distracted. Like it's so easy to get sidetracked by like emails and social media, even just random thoughts that pop into my head.
I think we can all relate to that. Our world is just designed to distract us, but there are tools that can help. Have you ever tried the Pomodoro technique?
We talked about it in the last part. I am intrigued working in those short bursts.
Well, there are a ton of apps that can help you with that.
Oh, Pomodoro apps.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
They take all the guesswork out of timing your work sessions and your breaks, so you can really just focus on the task at hand.
I love anything that takes like mental load off my plate. So which ones do you recommend?
Focus Booster is a great one.
Okay.
It's a really simple timer. It just keeps track of those sessions and breaks so you're not constantly checking the clock.
Simple and straightforward. I like that. What about others?
There's Forest.
Oh, okay.
This one's fun. It gamifies your focus. So basically, it plants a virtual tree that grows as you work. But if you leave the app or start browsing, the tree dies.
Wait, the tree dies if you get distracted.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's genius. Okay, so we got Pomodoro apps. What about like managing tasks, like actual to-do lists? Is there an app for that?
Of course. Todoist is great for that.
Oh,
It's a really good list app. You can organize your tasks, set deadlines, even collaborate with others if you need to.
I like to keep things simple, so that sounds right up my alley. What if you're more visual?
If you're more visual, Trello is a fantastic one.
Trello, I've seen people using that for everything.
Yeah, it's really versatile.
Okay.
And it uses a system of boards and cards to organize everything. So it's kind of like you're working with virtual sticky notes.
So you can really see everything laid out in front of you, move things around as needed, and make sure nothing slips through the cracks. Love it. What about something like even more robust?
Yeah, if you need something more robust, especially if you're working with a team, Asana's great.
Okay.
It's got all the bells and whistles.
So from simple to-do lists to complex project management, there's an app for everything. I love it. Now, what about those of us who are like drowning in notes? Like I've got ideas scribbled on napkins, meeting minutes scattered everywhere, random thoughts jotted down on scraps of paper. It's chaos.
Hmm.
Is there a way to bring some order to this madness?
Oh my gosh, yes. Note-taking apps are a lifesaver. They're like a digital filing cabinet for your brain, you know?
Ooh, I love that. No more stacks of paper. But I have to admit, I'm a little bit old school when it comes to notes. I love my notebooks and pens. Can you really go digital without sacrificing that, like, tactile experience?
You totally can. A lot of these apps let you use a stylus to actually write on the screen.
Right.
Some of them even convert your handwriting into text, which is pretty cool.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you can have the best of both worlds, the convenience of digital
Yeah.
with that pen and paper feel. So any recommendations for note-taking apps?
Evernote is a classic.
Evernote. Okay, I've heard of that one. What's so great about it?
It's super versatile. You can create notes, clip articles, attach files, record audio notes. It's like a one-stop shop for capturing all your thoughts and ideas.
So it's like a digital brain dump where you can just get everything out of your head and into a safe space. What about other options?
Notion is really popular right now.
No, okay, I see that everywhere, but it seems a little intimidating. Is it hard to use?
It can be a little overwhelming at first just because it has so many features. But once you get the hang of it, it's very intuitive. And then if you want something super simple, you can always go with OneNote.
Okay, so we've got options for every level of tech savviness. So we talked about time management apps, but you mentioned time tracking apps earlier. And honestly, those always felt kind of Big Brother-ish to me. Like someone's watching over my shoulder, judging how I spend my time. Can you convince me that time tracking isn't just about, like, surveillance and self-judgment?
I totally understand that hesitation. I think it's all about how you approach it. So instead of thinking of it as surveillance, what if you thought about it as self-awareness?
Okay, self-awareness.
Yeah, like a way to understand your own habits and patterns without judgment.
Okay, I like that. But how does tracking my time actually make me more productive?
We often think we know how we spend our time, but then we track it and realize, wow, I spend way more time on this than I thought. So it can help you identify those little time leaks, those activities that are draining your energy and productivity.
Ooh, those hidden time sucks that we don't even realize are happening. Okay, so what apps do you recommend for time tracking?
Toggle is a good one. Super simple. You can track your time on different tasks and projects.
Toggle, okay. And what about others?
Rescue Time's another good one.
Okay.
This one automatically tracks time spent on different websites and apps, so you can see exactly where your time is going digitally.
Okay, so maybe a little painful, but a good reality check. All right, so we've talked about tools for managing tasks, staying focused, organizing our thoughts, even tracking our time. But I want to bring it back to something we talked about in the last part, the importance of taking care of ourselves, both physically and mentally. How do mindfulness and relaxation fit into this whole hyperproductivity equation?
That's so important. It's easy to forget that productivity isn't just about working all the time. It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle.
So it's about finding that balance between pushing ourselves to achieve our goals and taking those essential pauses to recharge and refuel our energy.
Yes, exactly. And just like there are apps for tasks and time management, there are also apps that can help you with mindfulness and relaxation.
Okay, I am all about some self-care apps. Tell me more.
Headspace is a super popular one. It's got guided meditations, mindfulness exercises. It can help you calm your mind, reduce stress, all that good stuff.
Headspace, yeah. Everyone's talking about meditation these days,
Yeah.
and it makes sense. It's like a workout for your brain. What about other options?
Calm is another popular one. It's got a wider variety of content, meditations, sleep stories, even masterclasses on things like managing stress.
Calm. Okay. I love that they have sleep stories. I'm always looking for ways to improve my sleep. What if you want something free?
Insight Timer is a great free one. It's got thousands of guided meditations, music tracks, talks on mindfulness. It's a huge library of content.
Amazing. So many options. Okay, so we've got tools for managing tasks, staying focused, organizing thoughts, calming our minds. Now, I want to talk about the big picture, the benefits of being hyperproductive.
Yes, it's easy to get caught up in the details, but it's important to remember why we're doing this.
Why are we doing this? Tell me why. Because honestly, who doesn't want to get more done in less time, be less stressed, and have more time for the things they love?
Exactly. It's not just about checking things off a list. It's about creating a lifestyle where you can thrive.
Okay, sell me on this. What are the biggest perks of becoming a productivity powerhouse?
The most obvious benefit, you get more done.
More free time. Okay, I'm listening. But seriously, it's not just about free time, right? It's also about the mental and emotional benefits.
Yeah. When you're more in control of your workload, you're less stressed and overwhelmed. You're not constantly playing catch up.
It's like an antidote to chaos. Yes, please.
Exactly. It's about creating a sense of order, and that sense of control can spill over into other areas of your life too.
Ooh, tell me about these ripple effects.
Well, one of the big ones is work-life balance. If you're managing your time well, you're not just getting more done at work, but you're also freeing up more time for the things you love outside of work. Hobbies, family, friends, all of that.
That's what it's all about. But how does hyperproductivity actually help you achieve that balance?
When you're hyperproductive, you're not wasting time. You're focused on the things that matter, both at work and in your personal life.
So it's about creating a life that feels aligned with your priorities, both professionally and personally.
Hmm.
Love it. What about finances? Does being hyperproductive have any impact on our bank accounts?
Yeah. When you're accomplishing more, you can often take on more, pursue new opportunities. It can definitely lead to increased income.
So the more you achieve, the more doors open, leading to greater financial abundance. I
Hmm.
like the sound of that. Now, what about the impact on things like confidence and motivation?
I think it has a huge impact. When you see results from your efforts, your confidence grows, which then fuels your motivation to keep going. It's a positive cycle.
It's like leveling up in real life. You gain new skills, you conquer challenges, and you feel unstoppable. I'm starting to see why hyperproductivity is so much more than just checking things off a list. It's about personal growth and empowerment. Okay, I'm officially convinced. Now it's time to address the elephant in the room, or maybe the monster under the bed. Procrastination. How do we defeat this productivity villain?
Procrastination, the ultimate nemesis. But don't worry, we can conquer it. The first step is understanding why you do it.
Okay, so we need to do a little detective work, figure out what's really driving that procrastination.
Yeah. And then we talked about the 5-minute rule, breaking tasks down, rewarding yourself. Remember all that.
Oh yeah, those are my new favorite weapons in the fight against procrastination. But what about those times when we just can't seem to get motivated no matter how hard we try? What do we do then?
I think in those moments, sometimes the best thing to do is visualize the consequences of not doing it.
Ooh, okay. So kind of like a little tough love, a dose of reality to get us moving. I can handle that. Now, what about those of us who struggle with accountability? Are there any strategies for staying on track, especially when we're working on solo projects?
A productivity buddy.
Ah, yes. Like a workout buddy for your goals, someone to keep you accountable and motivated.
Exactly. Just having someone to check in with can make a huge difference.
Amazing. Okay, so we've talked about tools and techniques for everything. What's next?
Now it's time to create a personalized hyper-productivity game plan for you.
Yes, a roadmap to success. I'm ready to level up my productivity game.
Okay, productivity superstars, we are back for the final round. We're going to create our own personalized game plan. You ready?
I am so excited. We've talked about so many things, busted some myths, faced down procrastination. Now it's time to put it all together.
Let's do it. Where do we begin?
Well, like any good adventure, you got to know where you're going.
Yeah.
So, step one, define those productivity goals. What does hyperproductivity actually look like to you?
Okay, so it's about figuring out what really matters and setting goals that align with those values. Exactly. It's like setting the coordinates on your productivity GPS. Tells you where you're headed, keeps you on track.
Love it. Okay, so we've got our destination in sight. How do we actually get there?
I think establishing a solid daily routine is key.
Ooh, a routine.
Yeah. Remember we talked about planning the night before?
Yes. Setting yourself up for success.
Yeah. So it's all about creating a system that works for you, maximizes your energy, and minimizes those distractions.
So no more decision fatigue, right? Just waking up and knowing exactly what to do.
Right. And I think time blocking is a really powerful tool here as well. Creating those dedicated blocks for different tasks.
So it's like building a schedule that aligns with your energy and your focus.
Exactly. And don't forget deep work. Got to carve out those uninterrupted blocks of time for those really important tasks.
Yes, deep work's like entering that productivity zone where everything else just fades away.
I love that. And I think having a dedicated workspace helps too. A spot where you can really focus and do your best work.
Okay, so we've got our goals, our routine, our deep work sessions. What's next?
I think it's helpful to build in a weekly review, just a time to step back, assess your progress, celebrate wins, and make any adjustments.
Ooh, a weekly check-in.
Yeah, just to see how things are going.
Okay, so like a productivity tune-up? Love it.
Mm.
Now, we can't forget about our favorite frenemy, procrastination. How do we stay vigilant and keep that monster at bay?
I think the key is having those strategies in place. We talked about the 5-minute rule, breaking down tasks, rewards, minimizing distractions. Remember all that.
Yes, those are my go-to weapons.
It's important to find what works for you.
So it's all about experimenting, finding your own personal procrastination kryptonite. Now, what about our environment? How can we create a space that really supports productivity?
That is so important. I think it's about surrounding yourself with the things that help you thrive. So, choosing the right productivity apps, setting up a dedicated workspace, maybe even finding an accountability partner.
Ah, yes, our productivity posse. Because we're in this together, right?
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate those wins. It's so important to acknowledge your progress, big or small.
Yes, celebrate every step forward. Okay, this has been amazing. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for tackling my goals.
I'm so glad. And remember, it's a journey. So be kind to yourself along the way.
Beautifully said. This has been such an incredible deep dive into the world of hyperproductivity. I'm feeling energized, inspired, and ready to level up my productivity game.
That's awesome.
So what are you waiting for? Go out there and make it happen. We'll be here cheering you on every step of the way.